So we're gonna kick things off with the usage and adoption statistics. Then we will explore the revenue opportunities and calculation. Dennis also will guide us through all our improvements and progress that we made during the last year, and also will tell us about the new features that are gonna come soon. And then we're gonna move to the enablement part, like technical enablement, billing integration, and how to get started with the sales. And we will wrap up the things with the Q&A session, so don't hesitate to ask your questions during the webinar in the chat or in a Q&A. We'll answer this all in the end of the webinar. And Dennis, you ready to go?
Sure. So as Katja mentioned, we've been quite busy over the last year. Been building different options for our hosting providers so that they can enable Accelerate WordPress. For example, we are now functional on Plesk control panel, hosting control panel. We're now compatible with Lightspeed web server. So those were two of the biggest blockers for a lot of our hosting providers. That's increased our adoption and activation on servers quite a lot. The statistics we're going to show you today are really more about what end users are doing. And we have a good amount of data now after about 2 years of substantial activation on quite a number of our hosting providers' servers. So I want to share that with you today, really what our customers, users are doing with Accelerate WordPress. So we now know that around 90% of websites on a server can benefit from the basic optimization features, even the free optimization features offered by Accelerate WordPress. Now, sometimes there are compatibility issues. Sometimes they aren't able to activate the features for whatever reason. But 90% of the websites, WordPress websites on a server we have data to show that they would benefit by activating some of the features, if not all of the features of Accelerate WordPress. Now, of those websites, 20% are compatible and they receive the Smart Advice alert or notification to notify them to actually install Accelerate WordPress. So we have different issues with email addresses being invalid or email addresses not being deliverable, that sort of thing. But at least 20% of those users are seeing those emails and opening them, and they have a choice to make. And 78% of those users who have that choice to make actually install Accelerate WordPress. They click the button to deploy it. So it's very, very high conversion rate for Accelerate WordPress free. Again, it's free. And oftentimes it's kind of a no-brainer. It's like, you need page caching. You don't have it installed. Click this button. It's very easy for them to do. So it has quite a solid conversion rate and engagement rate from hosting end users. And we wanted to share that with you today. So if you're seeing those numbers, or if you haven't yet activated Accelerate WordPress, especially the free portion of it, we highly encourage you to do that as quickly as possible, because your customers are going to start seeing quite a bit of value from it rather quickly. Now, of those free customers, so of the users who activated Accelerate WordPress free, again, that was 78% of the ones who received the notification who had that decision to make. 20% of those users actually enabled premium features. So they've received advice for image optimization, Redis object cache, critical CSS file generation, or some other premium feature that we offer, and they have enabled that. So either through upgrading, so if the hosting provider has integrated their billing platform and created that automated upsell journey, then the user would have gone through and upgraded their plan, either by adding a subscription for Accelerate WordPress Premium or by upgrading to a higher tier hosting package that includes Accelerate WordPress Premium. So it's a very solid number for premium conversion. And we, obviously that's increasing the revenue for our hosting providers, which is the sole, the driver behind building this product in the first place. And you can see some detailed numbers here. Image optimization is obviously the most popular customers see that the images are unoptimized and they want to optimize them, so they upgrade to premium to optimize the images. Redis object cache, another popular one. Critical CSS file generation is a really common way to increase perceived load times. So when customers will enable premium services with a trial, for a free trial, for example, they'll enable critical CSS and go back to their website and see it, experience it loading much faster for them. So that seems to work very well for our customers as well. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So we put together this sample calculation. So in terms of revenue opportunity with Accelerate WordPress Premium, this is an example. So if you have 100 WordPress websites on a server, 20 of those websites will, 500 WordPress websites on a server, 100 of them will enable the free optimization. So Accelerate WordPress Free. 20% of those, based on our data, will enable the premium optimization at roughly a retail price of $3 per user per month. Now that's spread out, obviously in different markets, the price is different in different currencies and however you're promoting it. But on average, they're selling it for about $3 per user per month. The price to hosting providers is $1.20 per user per month. So when you add all that up in this sample size of 500 WordPress websites on a server, you're generating an additional $300 of margin per server per month. So that's those are the numbers that we're seeing. So based on the data that we're seeing, this is the opportunity for you. Once you have premium integrated, you have the automated upsell journey integrated with your billing platform. This is what we're seeing, the real data from our real customers in the real world. So we'll talk a bit about improvements. So what we've been building over the past year, like I mentioned, Lightspeed server support, integration with Plus hosting control panel. We also built support for custom panels. So panels such as Interworks or Webuzo are building now Accelerate WordPress support into their hosting control panels so that smart advice can be delivered to their hosting users and users. If you are a hosting provider with your own proprietary hosting control panel, you can now integrate using our custom panel integration. We also released, as I mentioned, the image optimization service, which is a premium feature of the critical CSS file generation service. We released the billing integration with, so we have a WHMCS plugin, but if you don't use WHMCS, you can use our API, our CLI commands to communicate with your billing platform for provisioning and deprovisioning accounts. We also have now a WordPress plugin so that your WordPress admins can now be exposed to smart advice, even if they're not in the hosting control panel. So if they're not hosting control panel users, they'll still be able to activate the free features of Accelerate WordPress. And if they're advised premium features, they'll need to have access or credentials to log into your billing platform to upgrade. We also released a CDN service. So this is also quite exciting for those of you who don't have CDN service today. It's all automated. So this is the big value of this is that, well, first of all, we're giving away 1 gig of free for every user. So if you need CDN, if you're a hosting user and you need CDN, we're going to give you advice saying, here's the data that we have that says that your site visitors will benefit if you enable CDN. You get up to 1 gig for free, which in our experience is actually quite a bit for most of the common use cases for shared hosting. And it's all one-click activation. So there's no changing of DNS. There's nothing for your users to do. They click a button that says, I want to activate CDN. Everything happens automatically behind the scenes and it's activated. And again, up to 1 gig for free. And those users who use more than 1 gig, there's another revenue opportunity, another upsell path for you there as well, where you can automate the upsell saying, okay, you're nearing that 1 gig of usage. It's benefiting you and your site visitors. You're using it, and now it's time to buy more bandwidth. You need more CDN bandwidth. So you can have another upsell journey for them as well for CDN Pro plans or premium plans. And what we're working on after that, so what's coming up next, we know a lot of you operate in different markets, you want to give smart advice in different languages, or you want to customize the smart advice so that you can tell them exactly why they need page caching or why they need Redis object cache, or image optimization, things like that, in either your native language, in your market, or just in different words that you feel are going to work better for your specific demographic. We're also looking at multi-site for WordPress. We know a lot of folks are using that, especially when they're selling WordPress specific hosting. We have had a lot of requests for the ability to ban specific WordPress plugins or versions of plugins that maybe they have a vulnerability, maybe they're causing issues on your server, whatever it is. We've had that request, and we're looking at adding that in the near future. Probably the biggest highly requested feature in our feature portal is support for direct admin and Accelerate WordPress. We know there's a lot of you out there on direct admin. We're going to be working with them soon to implement Accelerate WordPress into the direct admin UI as well. We're also working on a performance analysis tool. So obviously this is going to help you sell it, especially if you're offering a free trial of the premium features. It's going to show before and after. So when we give advice for Accelerate WordPress free or premium, we're going to say, here's what we anticipate the benefit is for you. And then after they turn it on, we can show them, okay, here's what your site was performing in terms of time to first byte, first contentful paint, the important metrics that they're already looking at for SEO. We're going to show them, here's what you were performing at before, here's where you're performing at now with Accelerate WordPress. It's going to help show the value, the true value of Accelerate WordPress and what those users are getting, especially if they're paying for it. That's important. And also, finally, we know that there's a lot of you who have hosting resellers. We have some challenges to solve in terms of logistics and billing. Accelerate WordPress Premium, as you know, is a post-paid service, so it's consumption or utility-based billing. So we charge you in arrears, as opposed to prepaid, which is your current Cloud Linux licensing. So when it comes to the reseller model, we're looking at different options. We're talking to a lot of our hosting provider customers with resellers, and we're building a solution out there, solution for supporting your hosting resellers, and that's coming very soon as well. We know that's in high demand. So in terms of enabling Accelerate WordPress, so I know that it looks like based on the poll, there are definitely a few of you on the call today that have not yet enabled Accelerate WordPress. We know that there are some challenges when it comes to enabling your server in the fleet, so fleet-wide enablement. We're working on that. Very soon, we're going to have a solution that will allow you to enable Accelerate WordPress across the fleet of servers, instead of having to write a script or log into each server or access each server via CLI and run the command. We know that can be tedious when you're talking about hundreds of servers or even tens of servers. We want to make it easy for you. Right now, you can enable Accelerate WordPress in the server admin UI. So whether that be Plesk or WHM, log into Cloud Linux Manager, click on the Accelerate WordPress tab. As long as you're running cPanel, Plesk, and Apache or Lightspeed web server, you will have the option to enable. I'm sorry, a Cloud Linux OS Shared Pro license, admin license, or solo license. You will be able to enable Accelerate WordPress as of today. We are working on direct admin, as I mentioned, and other control panels are building integrations as we speak. So if you're not using one of those listed control panels, definitely reach out to your control panel vendor and make sure they're working on it as well. You can go to this URL listed on the page, cloudlinux.com/AccelerateWP. There's a getting started guide. Certainly, if you've run into any trouble, feel free to reach out to us, reach out to your support teams, reach out to us on the product team directly, product@cloudlinux.com. We'll all be very happy to help you get started. And as I mentioned, this is what we're working on. So coming soon inside of your CLN account, if you have a CLN account, you're now going to have in the centralized management tab, you will have an Activate Accelerate WordPress for all of the compatible servers in your fleet. So if you're running a Shared Pro licensed server with cPanel or Plesk, you'll be able to activate Accelerate WordPress free on all of those servers. Now, to enable premium, you will have to configure it a bit more manually because, again, you have to set the upgrade URL, some other things that are required for the upsell journey. We are definitely going to be working on automating that for fleet management in the near future as well. We know that's a critical concern for our large hosting customers. So that is coming soon. So for billing integration, so as I mentioned earlier, we have a WHMCS plugin. So if you have WHMCS, it's very plug and play. You install the plugin, you set a few configuration settings like your pricing and how you want to bill for it. You can either bill as a subscription add-on. So if you want to add on to your existing hosting plans with Accelerate WordPress Premium for $3 a month, or if you want to include it in your top tier WordPress hosting plans, you can do it that way. And that's all pretty simple to do with the WHMCS plugin. And if you don't have WHMCS, then you can use our CLI documentation. You basically just need to trigger the provisioning and deprovisioning of accounts or of entitlements or access to Accelerate WordPress Premium for your users when they have a specific subscription or plan enabled within your billing platform. So, and again, there's extensive documentation online about this. We'll make sure to send that to you as a follow-up in an email after this webinar. And again, feel free to contact us directly with any challenges or blockers that you run into. Product@cloudlinux.com.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you for covering all the updates related to product aspects. And now, Michael, you're probably ready to share with us some sales enablement insights.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kat, and thank you, Dennis, for kind of the technical overview and what our product roadmap looks like for Accelerate WP over the course of the next few months. Again, my name is Michael, and I am the head of our global partnerships here at Cloud Linux. We have developed over the last several months an enhanced and optimized partner journey and partner experience via several resources. Those resources include a new partner portal, enhanced sales support, and ultimately a guided approach to enhancing your end user experience through Cloud Linux OS and Immunify 360 products. So besides what we've listed here with our sales support and crafted landing pages for the partner program, we also have developed specialized end user support resources for higher partner tiers. We've also started expanding our hosting advisory council as well. Ultimately, we're looking for an improved feedback loop and enhanced communication with our partners through the partner program to continue developing and enhancing our products and thereby enhancing your end users' experience within your hosting divisions. So with the enhanced support, we also have developed a recognition system. So for our higher partner tiers, we're going to be having a Partner of the Year or Partners of the Year, excuse me, award program for the various tiers of what we've been developing through the partner program. Now, stand by for this. We are going to be publishing what these partner tiers look like soon as we continue to revamp what this program looks like. But ultimately, for our hosting partners, what this looks like for you is we're able to provide your inside sales team or your inside support teams with the skills and abilities to not only support the Cloud Linux OS products such as AccelerateWP, but also to enhance your sales ability to continue to drive revenue. As Dennis discussed earlier, you can anticipate about 20% of your single hosting server to activate AccelerateWP free, and you can anticipate 20% of those to then upgrade to AccelerateWP Premium. And with our sales training program, we're actually hoping to improve those numbers from even the good numbers that they're at right now. So ultimately, this is an opportunity for our hosting partners to not only have a better support journey for your end users through the resources that we're making available, but also have a better sales journey when an individual calls your hosting team or your support team and they're wondering what they can do to enhance their website optimization. Then we can train your team on how to answer that, and then also how to upsell the AccelerateWP product. So ultimately, if you don't have access to these resources now, you can contact myself directly at my email, or even better yet, partners@cloudlinux.com will also get in contact with me, and I can take you through the enrollment process and getting access to our new partner portal, which has several of these resources as a self-serve type of approach. This is an area where we develop generalized marketing collateral, and you can go in and we can cooperatively co-brand some of this material that you can then use in your sales processes. So again, please contact me if you have any additional questions, and I would love to take you through the process of getting access to these resources through enrolling in the partner program and expanding a discussion in terms of a strategic partnership from there. I'll take it back to Kat.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, our clients, AccelerateWP users, constantly asking how they can improve their sales enablement, how they actually can get started. And yeah, with our partner portal, you can get all the ultimate guide on how to kick off the product. And now I think it's a Q&A time. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to provide them in a Q&A section or in a chat. And let me check the questions that we have. So this is probably a question to you, Dennis. Can we install AccelerateWP and have it only for our hosting company? So only we can activate this on a case-by-case basis.
Yes, you definitely can do that. So a lot of our customers are doing that today. So for example, we have customers that just want to give Redis Object Cache to all of their users. And so they run a command that says everyone has access to enable Redis Object Cache, and they can turn it on themselves, or the hosting, if it's managed WordPress hosting, for example, whoever's managing that is turning on Redis whenever they feel it's necessary or beneficial. That's all certainly possible, and it's all doable within what we have today. So if you have any questions on how to set that up, how to manage that, certainly reach out. I mean, we can direct you to the point or to places in our documentation that explain how to do that. And you have another question here about WP Rocket. So if WP Rocket is installed, Accelerate WordPress won't allow you to install or to deploy Accelerate WordPress's plugins to your customers, or features to your customers, including the critical CSS and image optimization, because it's all kind of built into that core, which is conflicting with WP Rocket. And the same thing goes with WP Super Cache or some of the other major caching plugins. So it does conflict. So you would have to disable those in order to activate Accelerate WordPress. The question about critical CSS. So Accelerate WordPress is using the load CSS asynchronously feature, but it doesn't remove the unused CSS as of today. We're using the load CSS asynchronously with this critical CSS file generation because we found in all our tests that it's more performant. We have since we've made that decision, we have had a lot of feedback that customers are seeing instances where removing the unused CSS is faster. So we are reconsidering that. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, WP Rocket is at 3.15. We are actually currently in the process of updating that within the next 2 sprints. So we're going to be at the same level of feature parity with WP Rocket here very shortly, and we're pushing some features back upstream for that for the open source version.
Thank you, Dennis.
And thank you, Eric. That's great feedback.
Thank you, Eric, for your questions. Anything else you're interested in or want to discuss? Maybe about technical enablement? Eric's saying that value is to be able to offer the premium hosting. That's very true.
Absolutely.
To compete with the premium WordPress optimization like Kinsta. In our commodity market, it is quite hard to get those users who are seeking for optimization. And if you want to be like a generic hosting company, if you want to expand your portfolio, this is a good opportunity, especially because unlike all other solutions, we're fully automated and tailored exactly for hosting providers. Oh, Eric saying that we run Immunify 360 as well and 0 hacks in a year. Thank you for the feedback. Nice to hear that. You should check out our My Immunify new solution and Immunify email. Cloud Linux is our go-to shop for all hosting solutions now, Eric saying, with this offering. Thank you for the feedback. So it looks like there is no other questions. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Eric, for your questions. And we're gonna send you the recording with all the useful materials we were discussing today and links to resources, link to our partner program. So yeah, check your inbox and see you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Katya.